Hi everyone, it is Kristen from Final Sight, and welcome to our Friday afternoon live session. Wherever you're joining from, for us, we are currently at 12:30 p.m. On the eastern side of the U.S., but I hope everyone's joining us now, taking a little bit of time. Today we are going to be going live with Paul, who is one of our experts in terms of talking about Google My Business, and really in light of COVID-19 and current school closures, what you should be thinking about for your school in terms of your Google My Business page. So I'm just going to join in with Paul in a few minutes. May have just had a little bit of a technical difficulty. We're working this out. I'm going to be inviting Paul, one of our consultants, just to talk about Google My Business. I'll be adding him in a few moments as more join in. But if you have anything that you're curious about with Google My Business, I know a lot of schools are closing right now, or you may have been closed for quite some time, and there are some considerations just to keep in mind in terms of your hours and how your Google My Business page looks for anyone who is searching for you. So I'm just going to hang out here. I am glad to see some more people joining in. If you are just joining in now, my name is Kristen. I'm our inbound marketing manager here at Final Sight. And today we're going to be going live with Paul just to talk about Google My Business, anything that your school should be thinking about in terms of school closures. So thank you for coming and hanging out today. We're just going to take a few moments and wait for him to come in. So we're gonna Hi Paul, how are you?
Hey guys, can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you on my end. I think we're good.
Cool.
Awesome. So
Yeah,
I just gave a bit of an intro, just letting everyone know that in light of COVID-19 and current school closures, we're just going to talk with you a little bit about any considerations they should make in terms of Google My Business and hours and things like that. So I'll leave the floor to you if you want to just introduce yourself, and then we can get going.
yeah, definitely. My name is Paul. I'm an internet marketer with Final Sight. Specifically, I do a lot with SEO, and that means I also do a lot with Google My Business. Um, COVID-19 has been groundbreaking and unprecedented for everybody, and even Google, in fact. And I know a lot of us view Google as this expert in digital and this expert in search, and we're really seeing them kind of come to terms with with what's happening as well. Specifically in Google My Business, we've seen a lot of um, schools being marked as this location is temporarily closed. And Google My Business has an advanced algorithm that can read information on your website, and from that, tries to auto-populate things to stay in Google My Business. So if we've written on our website, for instance, the campus is temporarily closed, a lot of times we're seeing Google see that and then automatically update our Google My Business profile as this location is temporarily closed. We're advising schools to, as quickly as you can, get in there and mark yourselves as open. Google understands that it's kind of botched this one a little bit. It's responding very, very quickly when you mark yourself as open. I've done that for a handful of schools. Pretty much right after you click the mouse, you'll see yourselves as open. That's If you're going to do anything, I would recommend you guys doing that. Google is saying having your profile marked as temporarily closed won't impact your ranking in those local search results. That From our testing, that hasn't been true. We have seen some schools fall in those local rankings. That may be something Google says they're going to try to boost back up once this is all over. We would much rather see you guys not take that chance, and in fact just go ahead and mark yourselves as open. The second important reason for that is so many schools are doing such profound things with virtual learning and distance learning. We want to make sure that you guys are advertising that. I shouldn't necessarily say advertising because it's not a paid element, but we want to make sure you guys are broadcasting that in your Google My Business profile. We've heard a lot of stories, unfortunately, of a lot of public schools really wrestling with this transition. So this is an opportunity for a lot of our schools to really shine and show their difference, and you can put a ton of that information into your Google My Business profile. So that means when someone searches your school by brand name, your Google My Business profile is the thing that shows up automatically. So when your brand shows up, you're instantly associating your brand with your efficiency and ability to handle this crisis and make sure students are continuing their education. As this plays out, we all hope it doesn't. We all hope this would end tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's not. We really have to look at how we're helping parents and their families and their children stay educated. Google My Business is a great way to broadcast some of the ideas of what you guys are doing. And outside of that, Google My Business is a wonderful opportunity to stay updated with news, stay updated with blog posts. Google My Business recently automatically added the function to automate event signups. So we're seeing a lot of schools can actually have parents sign up for events right in the Google My Business profile. That's again an interaction that Google automatically added. Um, a lot of times we'll think of events as open house or a campus visit, but again, this is a great opportunity to promote a virtual tour or to maybe have a conversation with an admissions director or possibly tune in with some families who are talking about virtual learning. It's a challenging time. It's forcing a lot of us to sort of think outside the box, but at the end of the day, we have amazing tools to help students and families continue education. And so we just want to make sure you guys are taking advantage of that.
No, it's all great information, and I'm sure it's something that a lot of schools aren't even realizing is occurring. And it's obviously a problem if you are appearing closed. So it's all really great tips. So thank you. And I think even just, taking a step back, if anyone is joining us now or maybe joining us later to watch a recording, if they don't currently know what Google My Business is, maybe just kind of go through that a little bit in terms of claiming your page if they don't already, just so if they don't even aware that this is a problem that's occurring, how they can go about resolving
Yeah,
it.
fantastic. That's a great point, Kristen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Google My Business is Google's effort to try to have businesses or really any kind of entity show up immediately on a Google search result page. Um, Anytime you Google your school's brand name, you're gonna show up there. And most schools that I work with have already claimed this listing. If you haven't, you'll often see a little link in the Google My Business profile that will say, own this business. If you see that, that means Google understands that this school listing has not yet been claimed. The process is very easy. It takes a few days. You click that link, you fill out your business information. Google will mail you what they call a postcard. It's really just a flap of paper, so it can get lost in the mail. So if you don't see it after about 5 days, request another one. That just has a series of 5 numbers on that. You enter that in. Google now believes you are who you say you are, and you will have the ability to edit that business information. So that's a great question, Kristen. Very easy, nothing to be intimidated by, and it's a great way for schools to, again, get very important information out to their families. The nice thing about it, too, is Google My Business is a way that we're helping the Google algorithm. Google says they want to index all of the world's information. This is us force-feeding Google our information. They don't really have to work for it. We're giving them the information. So they do a lot of hand-holding, and you'll find it's not a difficult process. They have a lot of steps outlined for you, and it's a really quick setup, something you can take advantage of really quickly.
No, thank you. Yeah, thank you for clarifying, just in case there's anyone here who maybe
Yeah,
doesn't
for
have
sure.
their Google My Business claimed. Now, I know you had brought up, virtual events. It's something that I know a lot of schools are taking advantage of right now. Are there any other tools? I know you had mentioned events, if they should be using posts, if there's anything you've been seeing schools using to really take advantage of Google My Business, especially during this time. I mean, it's difficult to think about, but of course, some prospective families are still searching, and there may be good ways to utilize it in that way. So I just wanted to shoot that question your way.
Yeah, that's a great question. We have seen, just based on data, that Google My Business profiles with robust photo build-outs, with a lot of photos added, with videos added, tend to have a lot more interaction. And once you get families interacting with your Google My Business profile, you can kind of control the conversation a little bit and show them what you want them to see. So this is a great opportunity to show kids learning at home, or to upload videos of maybe a virtual tour, or upload a video of a virtual learning lesson happening online. Uploading videos, uploading photos and uploading event opportunities are really where Google My Business shines. And so, again, these things might seem different to what we're used to. It's no longer a mailer, it's no longer an email, and it's not necessarily a paid search ad. So while the medium is different, it's still the same message that you guys are sending. You know, that you
Mm-hmm.
care for your families, you're providing great education, even in a time of uncertainty. And now we just want to make sure you have the opportunity to upload those videos and upload those photos and show off the great things you guys are doing.
No, that's really a really great point. I know we're seeing so many schools, especially on social media. Everyone's really come together and have a great sense of community right now. So, really, kind of seeing your Google My Business page is almost another social media outlet where you can post that same content.
Absolutely. And we've been so fascinated to see schools do things that we haven't even heard of. And for instance, there was I mentioned a conversation with an admissions director. One school we work with is having, through Zoom, just kind of like a virtual town meeting with their admissions director, where curious family members can log in, ask all sorts of questions, have all sorts of folks there to chat with, and really provide an identity. I think we're all stuck in our homes, and I think we're all starting to go a little bit crazy from that. But the nice thing is we haven't limited our ability to connect. We can still connect. It's just now virtual. It's no
Mm-hmm.
longer physical. And I think when we can start viewing that as our new medium, we can really start seeing the wheels come off and schools really do some wonderful things.
No, that's a great example and a really great initiative to take on. I did notice we have one question. It may put you on the spot a little bit, but if
No,
you
that's
don't have
fine.
any good examples, we can, of course, shoot a direct message. But Sage Ridge School just sent a question in asking if there are any good examples of schools with robust Google My Business profiles. I don't know if you have any on
Yeah.
the top of your head.
No, that's a great question. So these are the schools I work with, so of course I'm very partial to them. The country school in Madison, Connecticut, um, they're really sort of my playground, I like to say, because they're one of the first schools I go to just try anything new. We've really taken Google My Business kind of to the max there. You'll see a few things I haven't talked about in their profile. I wouldn't necessarily worry about those, but they're doing a great job of getting their message out and letting folks know what they're up to. Really, the first thing they did is post a series of letters from their head of school just addressing the community. And you can just click on and read the letters right as those posts in there. Country School is a great one. The Canterbury School in Connecticut is also a great example of a really robust Google My Business build out. And then something you may want to do, and this is something that we do in the SEO community a lot, is competitor analysis. Um, Find out who your competitors are. You most likely know who they are physically. You know, creep on them virtually, and see what they're doing. We see a lot of that. A lot of digital marketing is kind of that sort of spy game of who's doing what. Is that working for them? Will that work for us? It's a great way to kind of keep pulse on what your competition is up to, because unfortunately we're in an environment now where competition can move very, very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we always say, and in the SEO and marketing world, that SEO is a little bit slower of a process. It takes Google a little bit of time to read and index a website. And then the decision making for parents is also something that they're very much considering. This is one of the biggest decisions they'll be making thus far, where to send their child to school for potentially the next 12 years. So obviously you're not going to make that decision after one click, but we are now in a crisis, and a lot of things change in a crisis. So not that, again, maybe someone might not sign up for admission based on one click, but we're going to be making huge impacts with how we conduct ourselves and the message we say in this sort of environment.